In America, we don't turn to government to restore ourselves. We put our faith in Almighty God. You voted to make America great again. We are making America greater than ever before, and it's happening before your eyes. We will rekindle new faith in our values, new pride in our history, and a new spirit of unity that can only be realized through love for our great country. The American people voted to reject this corrupt globalism. This is the most important election in the history of our country. And yet, despite all of our greatness as a nation, everything we have achieved is now in danger. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. And when I'm reelected, the best is yet to come.
From America, you're listening to the Hip Hop Patriot, Jeremy Herrell.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live at 5 right here from the Live Free or Die state, the Granite State of New Hampshire, and I'm so proud of my state for a couple reasons, which we will get to in a little bit. Thank you so much for giving me a second hour of your precious time right here on Live from America. I am your ever so humble, God-fearing, but God-loving host, Jeremy Herrell, the Hip Hop Patriot. And boy, do we got a show for you today. We're also bringing in Ben Berkwam, correspondent for Real America's Voice News, who has been living, and I mean living, on the southern border and has all the exclusive information, all the exclusive footage. So we're going to be bringing Ben Berkwam on in a little while. Probably some like halfway between the show, between the beginning and the end of the show, and you know there's going to be a lot of information flowing your way. He's even finding human remains, which is a very, very scary thought. Outside of that, guys, we got a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to be talking about Arizona. We're going to be talking a little bit about Dr. Fauci. We're going to be talking about what states are passing what bills, and of course. Bringing on Ben, which is always a treat. I'd like to thank everybody who is watching on social media right now. We got people watching on YouTube. We got people watching on the website, people listening on the podcast, and for those who watch the video later on various different platforms, I want to say thank you very much because it's the continued viewership from the live all the way through the end of the night that really gets the videos out there, gets the word out there, gets the message out there, and more importantly, gets the gospel out there. So as we do every single day here on Live from America, let's give some live shout outs to those who are watching on social media, and very soon we'll have live people watching on Roku and Fire Stick as well as we move to digital TV. But let's go and do it now. Renee Cook from OHIO is watching. Hello Renee, that's my mother's name, so it's always nice to see somebody with the same name as my wonderful mother. Tonda's Treasures from Montana. Dawn Brown is getting a shout out today. Diana Garofalo from Connecticut, not too far south from me, a nice neighbor here in New England. Thank you for watching. Who else we got here? Teresa Strednicki from OHIO as well. Charles Myers is watching. Thank you, Charles, for joining in. David Kraft is watching from the great state of Nebraska. Provo Person from Utah. Ryan M. from the Show Me state of St. Louis, Missouri. Venus Mahan from North Carolina. North Kakalaki in the building. Dan Smith is watching. Kelly Fullen from the great state where everything is bigger, Texas. Kimberly James. Kim Romansky's watching, also from Connecticut. Thank you, Kim. Ruth Labriole from, didn't catch that, but Ruth, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. Brenda Hines from middle of Georgia. We've got William Buchel watching from Kentucky, and Patricia Burns, also putting up the smiley faces, the flags, the prayer hands, and the American eagle. What's better than that, huh? All right, guys, I appreciate it. We got quite a few people watching. We got about 1,200 people watching on YouTube alone. And for all of you on YouTube, you know the drill. You're action item people. You are what makes this network a network. Get those shares out there. Get those like buttons and those thumbs smashed so we can beat the algorithms, huh? I'd also like to give a special shout out today to a few folks. Christine Merrick, I wanted to say that I got your card and I got your wonderful donation to the show in the mail today. Thank you so very much, Christine from Poland, Ohio. Mary Groves, also from she's from Waukesha, Wisconsin. Mary Groves, thank you very much for the card and the donation to the show. Appreciate that. Tammy Hansen also sent a card from Ladysmith, Wisconsin. I appreciate that, Tammy, with the donation. It's always nice to be able to get your guys' cards in the mail, read them, and send you cards back. Tom Taylor sent a donation. Thank you very much. We had handmade soap sent from Jeanette and Mark Kane from Huntington Beach, California. And we had Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Sled, who are, longtime viewers of the show, and they're donors as well. They sent me a bunch of American literature, which I cannot wait to pass out. And check this out right here from Brittany Goebel. She sent this amazing tumbler, and I got this tumbler here a couple weeks ago. But check this. She's got all of my songs, Rebirth of America, In God We Trust, Armor of God. She's got a picture of me on there. She's got my album covers. She's got Make America Great Again on it. She's even got the saying from the verse Philippians 4:13 that I have on the front of my website. She even got that on the tumbler. And then she says, but only one Yahweh. Right ways, wrong ways, but only one Yahweh. Thank you so very much. And she sent this awesome, huge pack of Smarties too. So somebody might get the Smarty Award of the month, and this might be it. Ken Majonis says, shout me out from South, or is it from South Jersey? Oh, just from New Jersey. From New Jersey, but it's south of me. So big shout out to all of you guys. I want to thank you so very much for sending me those donations. Again, this is a viewer funded show, so every little bit definitely helps. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my wife. Okay, guys? I asked my wife today if she would like to... Oh, by the way, if you want to order something like this, I think you can get them. She gave me Brittany Goebel. If you look up Goebel, Goble, Goebel Creations on Facebook and Instagram, that's where you can get a hold of her. And I bet you she would make you something amazing just like this for yourself. But I'd like to give a shout out to my amazing wife. Okay? My wife is one of, if not the most amazing person I have ever met in my life. Her and I, we click so well. We play off our strengths and we communicate on our weaknesses. She has a role, I have a role. We both play those roles and do them very well. And if it wasn't for my wife, I would not be doing all of what I'm doing right now. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be doing this full time. Even though your subscriptions and your donations have made it possible financially, if it wasn't for my wife's support that said, do it. You have a gift, go do it. You'd be able to spread the word. You'd be able to do what you love to do, go do it. And she pushed me over the edge. She holds down the fort. She does all the kids' doctor's appointments, all the kids' dentist appointments. She does all of the financial aid for their Christian school that they go to. She does all of the housework. She does all the cleaning while having a 3-year-old. She does everything. And I just love my wife, Sabrina. I know you don't really watch the show very much, but I love you, sweetheart, and thank you so very much for helping me do this, which is definitely a dream of mine. So shout out to Sabrina, and she even said that she would even be open to coming on as a guest to, let's just say, confront those tweets that we've been reading lately about stay-at-home moms and how they're not setting a good example for their children. My wife has a lot to say about that, so hopefully we can bring her on next week as a guest. I'd be honored to introduce you to her. She's not really an on-camera person, but let's get her on the show so you guys can ask questions to her, because I'm sure you have a lot. Okay, can you guys do me a favor? Copy the link, share the video out, get it out there, let everybody know what's going on. I did speak to the family that we sent the money to for the family farm today. I did get their last name wrong, of course, like I always do. It wasn't Falk, like Fokker on Meet the Fockers. It's Fauci. So it's the Fauci family farm in Kansas. And I did speak to him and her, which is Chad and Mandy, today. And let me just tell you, they are so thankful for all of you. They are so thankful for your contributions and what we were able to accomplish here by God's grace. And they were so happy. He's going through chemo right now. She's holding down the fort. She's running the farm. She's being mom to 4 amazing children. She is just running around like a chicken with her head cut off. And he's fighting hard as a proud, strong American, a man of God. I just want to say shout out to the Fauci family. They were not viewers of the show. They had no idea this was coming. They were nominated by a friend who does view the show. And now they said, nope, we didn't watch your show. He says, but we will now. So shout out to the Fauci family. We love you, and we hope we pray for you to get back well. We know you will. We know that God's with you, and we know you're going to get back well. And for your wife, she deserves a medal. She deserves a medal. So we hope the $1,000 helps you out. Do whatever you want with it. Heck, even go out and spend it on the kids if you have to. But we love you. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to do God's work. Thank you so very much. Linda Ryder Smith says, give me a shout out. Well, there you go, Linda. You got your shout out. Love you. Mwah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into Jesus Calling. Because as you know, on Live from America, and if the Fauci family is watching, every single day, twice a day, we do this show. But we do not move forward without giving our love, our attention, and our honor to God Almighty and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And we even have agnostics, atheists, Muslim, Buddhists, and Jews who watch this show, and they still respect this show that much. So I want to give a big shout out to you guys for really helping push the word and to get the gospel out there, because you know what? We might be divided in this country right now, but we're always united in the gospel. So April 1st, April Fool's Day, right? Right here on Live from America, Year of Our Lord 2021, it says, after my resurrection, the first words I spoke to my disciples were, peace be with you. You also need to be reminded of this divine nature of this gift, for it is not the world's peace I give you. It is peace that transcends all understanding. As you receive my glorious peace, you gain deeper intimacy with me, the richest blessing of all. Now you can go to John 14:27, which is where this devotional came from. And it says in John 14:27, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. And you can also go right to John 20:14. So both of these come from John. So John 20:14 says, on the evening of that first day of the week, when the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. Before you turn out the light tonight, lift your eyes and imagine the never-ending fountain of my peace washing over you. And guys, that's what we do it for. That's what God's grace is all about. That's what God's mercy is all about. Peace. Peace. Trish says, to whoever put thumbs down, you are... and they put a little poop emoji. So for whoever did put the thumbs down on this video as we're speaking about the Lord and about positivity.
Nobody cares.
Zah! Oh, welcome all newcomers. And if you are new and you do have a Facebook page, copy the link and go over there and share it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the Lord's Prayer, and then we got to get into the news because we got a lot of it. So, if you can, say it out loud. Ooh, look at that mop, huh? Say it out loud, ladies and gentlemen. Let God hear it from your lips to his ears. But if you can't, if you're at work, if you're in a doctor's office, which you should still say it out loud, but if you're not that kind of person, then say it inside so the Spirit can hear it, okay? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. Andy says, Jeremy, you know what said Bible said about April Fool? No, I don't. But you can definitely enlighten me. It looks like everybody's shouting out somebody named Marshall. They must be new here, so shout out to you, Marshall. Welcome to Live from America. Now we're going to get right down to brass tacks, and we're going to get busy, baby. Here we go. First and foremost, let's set the tone of the show right now and just say that Mark Meadows, former chief of staff for President Donald J. Trump, and in my mind, the still legal president of the United States, but former chief of staff Mark Meadows, actually tweeted out something going at Dr. Fauci. And this is what I love. Everybody's starting to come out against Fauci. Everybody. And later on, we'll talk about what Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing as well. But everybody's finally starting to come out against Fauci because they're sick of him. Everybody's sick of this fraud. They are so sick of him changing, pushing back the goalposts, wearing masks, don't wear masks, wear 6 masks. Now you got to inoculate children, babies. Nobody can play together. Stay inside your house. You lose. I win. I make more money than every other federal employee in the government, and I'm not even elected. That Dr. Fauci, you know, Dr. Fraudci. Anyway, Mark Meadows tweeted this. There was no policy, medical or otherwise, that Dr. Fauci wouldn't weigh in on when President Trump was in the White House. And then he goes on to say, curious, we haven't heard from the same Dr. Fauci on Joe Biden releasing thousands of COVID untested migrants into the U.S. We hear from Dr. Fauci every single day, it seems like. Every single day, that little rat seems to find his way onto some kind of broadcast. That little sewer rat finds some way to get out his nonsense to the public, right? And there's so many people just like that comedian, what's his name, Jim Brewer, just like he said, when he said that people just watch the TV and they do whatever it says. Numbers are going up. Numbers are going up. Put on your mask. Put on your mask. Grandma killer. Grandma killer. That's exactly what people do. And that sewer rat figures out some way to get on some worthless, dying platform like MSNBC or CNN, and just so he can sit on there, everybody wear your mask. Don't get together. Follow my orders. What a loser that guy. Hey, Dr. Fauci.
Nobody cares.
Oh, you sewer rat. I can't even take it anymore. But good on Mark Meadows for standing up. Good on Mark Meadows for finally saying something, because all the people that seem to be around Trump have never really went at Dr. Fauci the way they should have, because they were the ones closest to this whole thing. Okay? I can't even stand. He is one person on this planet. I don't care what he is, Democrat, Republican. Obviously, we know what he is. We know he's a swamp donkey. He's a sewer rat, and he's one person on this earth that I literally can do without. I'd rather listen to 2 hours of a conversation between Gladbag, Crooked Hillary, and AOC. I'd rather listen to the two of them have a coffee discussion about who's more left than I would listening to Dr. Fauci about wearing a mask. I cannot stand that guy. I don't know about you, but if you can't stand him, let me know in the comments by putting a thumbs up or just saying can't stand the guy, because I'm sure that the comments will be filled up with people who feel the same way I do. Wear your mask. Anyway, let's move right along to another thing that nobody cares about, the Major League Baseball. Now, here's the thing about Major League Baseball, okay? Major League Baseball is definitely America's pastime. It used to be anyway. But now they're all woke, like Coca-Cola and Delta and the rest of these woke companies, right? They live in this big woke-topia world where everything is just evil and racist and systematically racist and bigot and all that other stuff, right? So MLB is threatening the state of Georgia now that the Major League Baseball All-Star Game will probably be moved out of Georgia and be moved to another state. And their reasoning is because of the racist voter ID law that was just signed by Governor Kemp. Hey, Major League Baseball, I'm going to tell you the same thing that we tell the NBA, the same thing that we told the NFL, the same thing that we ended up telling NASCAR and every one of these woke-topia sports organizations.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about your All-Star game. Nobody cares that you want to move it out of Georgia because of their, quote, racist voter ID laws. Isn't it funny how all of these people end up exposing themselves? Nobody cares that Coca-Cola, has anything to say about voter integrity. Nobody cares that Delta Airlines has anything to say about voter integrity, especially since both of these organizations require an ID for you to go on their planes or on their premises, okay? And nobody definitely cares about the kneeling during the national anthem, highly paid, uneducated losers that play a game for a living, kneeling all the time, all over the world, getting on their knees every chance they get. Nobody cares that you're moving your all-star baseball game to another state. Good luck, have fun, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. How about that one? Nobody cares about you moving the all-star game. And here's the other thing, too. Baseball, it is America's pastime, yes. But baseball is one of those sports that you have to go watch the game, okay? You literally have to go watch the game, or you have to be, at some, baseball playoff party with a bunch of other people drinking beer and eating pretzels, okay? Because baseball is so lame to watch on TV anyways. And here's the pitch. And it's a ground ball to shortstop. And 3-2-1, bases are loaded. Coming up in the next inning, it's so boring. I don't know, maybe I would rather listen to Dr. Fauci than even that on TV, okay? And here's the pitch. Fly ball to center field. And that'll do it for this inning. The score remains 0-0. That's pretty much what it's all about. All right, moving on, because we got to bring Ben Berkwam on here very soon. I want to give a shout out to my state, my wonderful live free or die state of New Hampshire. Even though we have a rhino governor, the New Hampshire State Senate voted today to pass a bill called SB 154. And what SB 154 is all about is our Second Amendment rights. And out of Concord, New Hampshire, which is our capital today, it says all 14 Senate Republicans today voted to pass SB 154, legislation that would prohibit the state of New Hampshire from enforcing a presidential executive order seeking to restrict or regulate a person's right to own a gun under the Second Amendment. The bill's prime sponsor, Majority Leader Jeb Bradley, a Republican from Wolfboro, New Hampshire, explained the need for SB 154, saying, quote, if there's an executive order issued from President Biden restricting an individual's ability to keep and bear arms, this bill will make it clear that the state of New Hampshire would not enforce any such orders issued after January 20th, 2021. SB 154 will protect the rights of New Hampshire citizens to defend themselves and their loved ones. New Hampshire is among the safest states in America because we have effective law enforcement and allow people to exercise their constitutional rights under the Second Amendment. Can I get an amen for the Granite State here in Live Free or Die, New Hampshire? Woo! That makes me so happy. You want to hear some more news about New Hampshire as well? They were just rated today number 1 out of 50 states. Number 1. We rank number 1 when it comes to taxpayer rate of return. Okay? That means for what we pay in taxes, we get the most for it here in New Hampshire. Want to know why? Because we have no state income tax. We have no sales tax. We don't get really taxed on anything. maybe prepared food. We don't have to have car insurance. We don't have to wear a helmet. You don't have to have a permit to carry concealed or open. You don't even have to register your gun. You can buy it from a friend and it's completely legal. I love the state of New Hampshire. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Now we just need to do whatever we can to get rid of our rhino governor. Or he needs to shape up. One of the two. So big shout out to my state of New Hampshire. Now, let's move to another state that's not so fortunate. Another state that's not so happy with the representatives and the people that they have in some of their seats and their elected officials. Arizona Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Let's first and foremost give them what they deserve, ladies and gentlemen, which is going to be the first dum-dum of the day goes to the Swamp Donkey, Arizona Maricopa County Board of Supervisors because they called an emergency meeting today at 10 a.m. after the Senate announced the 4 different companies chosen to do the forensic audit. Once the company was picked that was going to do the forensic audit, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors freaked out, called an emergency meeting. Who knows what they discussed in there, but they have tried everything that they can under the sun to stop this forensic audit from happening. They have stalled. They have delayed. They've tried to take it to different courts. They've tried anything they can to get somebody to tell them that they don't have to go through with this. Now, before I go on any further, let me ask you, what are they hiding? What are they hiding? If they are basically beholden to the people who've elected them, and the people who have jurisdiction over them, which is the state Senate, is saying, hey, let us do this forensic audit, then what is the problem? I can tell you why you wouldn't want somebody snooping around and looking in the ballots that do not belong to you, looking through the machines that do not belong to you, analyzing the software that does not belong to you. It belongs to the taxpayers and the citizens of the state of Arizona who are demanding it. So let me ask you one more time. What are you trying to hide? Sounds to me like somebody's afraid of going to jail, because I'm going to give you the names of each one of these county supervisors. That's slurp worthy right there. Here we go. How about Clint Hickman from District 4? So if you live in Arizona, you should be able to reach right out to these people because they cannot keep their information as far as their office information secret from you being an elected official. You can also go on to any one of their social media platforms, and by law, they cannot block you from the social media platform either, unless you're doing something illegal. Clint Hickman, that's Hickman from District 4. How about this? Jack Sellers, Sellers from District 1 in Maricopa County. How about Steve Chukri, Chucri, He is from District 2 in Maricopa County. Bill Gates, not the one you're thinking about, but but spelled the same way. He is from District 3 in Maricopa County. And last but not least, Steve Gallardo, Gallardo, and he is from District 5 of Maricopa County. Those individuals right there are afraid of going to prison. How do I know? Because they would not be freaking out the way they are. They wouldn't be calling emergency meetings. They wouldn't be doing everything they can to keep this audit away from the state Senate. But guess what? They're going to audit the machines, they're going to audit the software, and they're going to audit the ballots. And one way or another, you guys are going to be found guilty of what you did, because we all know what you did. Arizona is about to be the next hotbed for election integrity reform, and it's just going to continue to go right down the line. Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, not necessarily in that order, but these swamp donkeys are going to be scattering like roaches when the light comes on as soon as we figure out exactly what they did. Share the video if you believe and agree with me. Of course, they get the dum-dum, and it's going to be followed up, ladies and gentlemen, by a Smarty. We're going to give another Smarty Award here on Live from America to the Ohio State Legislature, because they are now making moves to preemptively ban any kind of CCPV passport over concerns about privacy. And they are concerned that the Biden administration is going to try to keep pushing this. So they're going to go and they're going to pass their own legislation in the great state of Ohio to make it so that they do not need CCPV passports in their beloved state, because it violates privacy, and it should have something to do with HIPAA laws or ADA or any of that kind of stuff. It should have something to do with the privacy of your health, and they don't want that privacy infringed upon, like everything else that the federal government tries to do. So give me 1 second here. I just want to send out this invite to my friend Ben Berkwam. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving on here. I want to show you a little bit about what Ben is seeing on the border. So let me just bring up this video real quick. I wanted to show a couple videos. Maybe I'll only have time for one. But this is Ben Berkwam, correspondent with Real America's Voice News and also Frontline America. And this is him on the border getting footage. Very dangerously, by the way. Very dangerous to be down there doing what he's doing. But nobody's getting the footage that he's getting. And not just of the facilities where these people are packed in like sardines with COVID. I'm talking about the actual border. So, Ben Berkwam with Real America's Voice News. Here we go.
A town called Arivaca on this dirt road, Ruby Road. And just want to show you what I just drove up on. This is right off the side. These are the clothes that the drug smugglers wear. They are camouflage. You got some shirts, some sweaters, Pedialyte they use, blanket to cover up, their water bottles, wrapped in some more of the camouflage, their socks, and then they wait right here. The car comes to pick them up, and they head in with their drugs to America.
The hilltop right there is where we got the video of the 3 cartel scouts with AK-47s sitting on top of it. We watched them for 8 hours. They went off the backside. But come up over here.
Oh, another water drop. So this is right there, cartels control. Is this Sinaloa? Who's the cartel here?
Yeah,
So Sinaloa cartel. And right here, right where the cartel traffic is, these leftists that are now running our government, organizations that they're appeasing, are out here feeding and watering the cartel drug mules. So they're putting the water where the cartel scout outposts are.
Mm-hmm. Basically, they have maps.
So the people that drop the water put that on there.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving 6 gallons of water, and they have 2 of these for illegal aliens that are invading our country, that are bringing drugs into our country, and that are trafficking humans into our country. This water is supporting modern day slavery.
This water is supporting modern day slavery. Now, I've been telling you guys that this is on Biden's hand. This is on Biden's watch. This is on, and not only is it on their watch, it's being normalized. It's actually being invited. These people are invited to do this stuff. This is a clear message from the Biden residency. This is why these people need to be held accountable and put in jail. I'm not talking about the people that are coming across the border. They do too. But the people who are facilitating all of this, Biden, Kamala, all of them, the left, Nancy, Chuck, all of them, they all need to be put in prison for this because they are all breaking the law. They are all complicit in breaking the law. I want to play you one more video here before we bring Ben on, and this is human remains. Human remains found on the border. Let me pull this up real quick for you. That one's having a hard time coming up. Let me try another one here for you. I just want to kind of show you some of the stuff that he's going through down there on the border.
Hey, I'm Bobby Lee from...
Hold on. Sorry for the technical difficulties here, folks, but I want to make sure that you guys see a little bit of what's going on before we bring him on. Okay?
We've got another group that just came in.
All right, here we go. Get this over here for you. There you go.
We've got another group that just came in. group of rafts were on the water, so they're getting picked up by Border Patrol right now. We're making our way back down to where we saw about 30 people sitting on the Mexico side. Border Patrol just told us they had 70 that just crossed, and there's about 70 more on the other side that are about to be crossing. We're going to try to get down there to where the boats are crossing. You can see some of them right there. We got them climbing up the rocks. Got a raft going back across right now. There's a raft going across right now.
Look how easy it is.
It's a raft going back into Mexico. They already know, Anthony. So that raft just transported the people that are sitting on top of the hill across. They've already dropped off about 70. They've got a couple more groups. These are the people on top now, are the ones that were on the hillside as we went by in our boat. Now they're back on the Mexico side with the raft. All of these people were just dropped off, brought over from Mexico. Border Patrol is en route to pick them up. And this is happening all across our southern border.
Every day,
Let's
all
see
day.
if the raft is still there. The raft where they were dropped off was right down here.
So the video that they wouldn't let me play for whatever reason I couldn't get to play. That video, Ben actually found human remains, skulls bashed in, and the guy that he was with said that that's more than likely from a young female, because they see that kind of stuff down there all the time. This isn't just like, oh, there's people coming across the border. It isn't just that simple, guys. It is a horror movie what is going on down there. And can you imagine the amount of people that we don't see? Can you imagine the amount of people that are getting assaulted and raped and all that we don't see? You know what I mean? So Ben and I talked today, and I'm going to be going down there with him at some point here pretty soon. And he warned me. He said it's very dangerous. We got to be extremely careful, because once you go down there, you put a huge target on your back from the coyotes and from the drug smugglers and from the cartels. So while we wait for Ben to come on to talk a little bit about these human remains that he's finding, I do want to talk a little bit about what Greg Abbott is doing. So you guys in Texas, you guys have a governor who is at least trying to put up some kind of a fight as they can from a state's point of view, because it's happening in their state. So about a month ago, Texas Governor Greg Abbott started a new operation called Operation Lone Star. And under Operation Lone Star, what would happen is that Texas authorities and rangers and others would kind of fill in the blanks where the Border Patrol was not able to keep up. So basically what's happening down there right now is that the Border Patrol is so overwhelmed that all they have to do is kind of like, it's kind of like the cartels are throwing a rock over there so that somebody hears a noise and then, running across over here. Well, that's what's happening. They're pushing hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people across in different sections. And what's happening is Border Patrol has to go there, right? And then meanwhile, the nefarious action, other than, I guess it's pretty nefarious to come across the border illegally as it is. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about the child trafficking, the drug smuggling and stuff like that. That's all going on in another section. And so what's happening is they're being so overrun, and they're having buses and Border Patrol vans and cars running constantly all day long, picking up more and bringing them in. I bet you there are hundreds of thousands since Joe Biden. And they tell you on the news 30,000, 100,000, 60,000, maybe 10,000 here. No, I would bet you that hundreds of thousands have already come across the border since Joe Biden has taken up residency in the White House. So you tell me, whose fault is this? You know what I mean? And let's get even beyond whose fault it is. When is America going to stand up? So anyway, let me get back to Governor Abbott. His Lone Star operation is basically filling in the gaps where the Border Patrol can't keep up. All right? And let me run through some statistics here for you that just Texas is dealing with. In the last 28 days, Texas authorities have made 598 criminal arrests just in the last 28 days. So you say, okay, what's a criminal arrest? Well, a criminal arrest is people who already have warrants, who are known cartel members, who are known to be rapists, who are wanted in certain counties already in the United States for rape that they've already been deported on and they're back. Those are criminal arrests. So in the last 28 days, Texas authorities have made 598 criminal arrests, and that boils down to 21 criminal arrests a day. That's just the criminal arrest. 21 a day. Every day. 21 arrests for somebody who's committed rape or murder or something like that. All right? Then, on top of that, they've got 16,000 since in 28 days, 16,000 referrals of illegal aliens to Border Patrol, meaning that they're rounding up illegal aliens that are getting through the border that the Border Patrol can't grab, and there's 16,000 of them that they're referring back to the Border Patrol. Now think about how many people that is a day. 16,000 divided by 28 days, you're talking 500 arrests a day that are referred back to the border. How can any county, how can any state do that and not deplete its resources? How can anybody do that? So Texas Governor Abbott is trying to do the best he can, and but the problem is when you get on about federal property, that's the other thing too. Why do we have federal property? Why do we have property that the federal government owns? That should never be the case, except for like parks and recreation and things like that. Why does the federal government own this property? You know what I mean? That should never be the case because the federal government is already growing way too big for their britches anyways. You know what I mean? So I got to give it to Texas Governor Abbott. He's doing what he can. He really is doing what he can. And the people in Texas, hey, you have militias down there. You know what I mean? You have a constitutional right to help, and you have a constitutional right to defend your land as well. So stand up and defend. Kat Tia says, how can we help? Let's fight. Well, you got to get a hold of those Texas officials, and you got to get a hold of Texas militias because it's all up to them. Legally, Texas militias can step in. Legally, anybody that's a militia in Texas legally can step in per the Constitution and defend their borders. Because if the federal government fails and then the state fails, which the state really isn't failing, they're trying to pick up the slack where the federal government is slacking, then it's your duty. It's our duty. It's the people's duty. Now, not necessarily you watching. I don't expect you to go grab your AR-15 and go down to the border. But what I'm saying is there are organizations. There are organizations. So it looks like we might have, let's see, we might have Ben in here. So hold on one second. Ben, you here? Can you hear us?
I can.
You can't hear us?
I can. Hang on.
So
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
No, you're not going to see me. I just need you to turn on your video, buddy, and we got your audio already. So as long as we can get your video, we'll be good.
How do I do that?
Should be at the bottom of your screen. Meanwhile, while Ben is getting situated here, I just want to let you know, Ben, that I just showed some of your videos. There you are, right there. I got you. So I'm gonna switch you over here. There he is, Ben Berkwam from Real America's Voice News and from Frontline America. Like I said, Ben, I've been showing the people your videos, okay? Not all of them, but I don't know of anybody else who's getting the footage that you're getting. You should win some kind of, when this is all said and done and we get President Trump back and we start securing the border again, you should win some kind of award for being a real journalist because you're down there not only getting the footage that people need to see, but you're down there risking your life. And we talked about this earlier Okay, we spoke about how dangerous it is and what you're seeing that the mainstream media will not report, like human remains and things like that. Please tell the viewers here on Live from America your perspective of what you've seen over the last week.
Well, it's shocking. It's heartbreaking. It's tragic for our country. From everything from the children that are being trafficked and hearing firsthand from Border Patrol the number of these children that they call them recycled. They're basically sold by the cartel to men who are told and actually trained by leftist organizers in America that if you have a child with you, you have a better chance of getting in. And so there's actually a market now for selling children in Mexico and Central America to send up with just any man that'll pay for them. And these are many of them have sexual abuse histories. Many of them have molestation charges. You hear stories of these children being gang raped multiple times. And then when they get across, they're again called recycled. They send them back to Mexico and they're used again. In one case in Yuma, the former district chief down there said that they had one child that was recycled 17 times. In that sector alone, they had 3,500 children that were considered recycled children that had been used by the cartels. And so this is going on an ongoing daily basis. Along with that, all of the so-called women and children, the unaccompanied minors, oftentimes, just to give the audience an idea, you guys, when you hear these terms, and you'll hear the left talk about this a lot, and try to make that's probably the worst part to me, is just the amount of fraud, deception, the lies that we have, what is being said. If you look at what AOC said, just how pathetic. And thank you for giving her the Dum Dum Award, because she absolutely deserved it. These are the people. I don't blame the people in Central America that live in Guatemala and under tyranny and live in fear for their life in a country where only 5% of the murders are solved. I don't blame somebody in those countries that wants to make a better life for them and their family. I blame the cartels that are trafficking these children and these people, and the leftists in America who are inviting it. People like AOC and Joe Biden. To a lesser extent, Joe Biden, I don't think he's all there, but it's the people behind him. It's these leftist organizations. We were in Tijuana, and this organization, El Otro Lado, which is a U.S.-based company, organization, so-called nonprofit, is down there. That they're the ones organizing, along with this. Now it's kind of an umbrella term. It's called Casa de Luz. It's House of the Light, they call themselves. It's this smorgasbord of leftist organizations that have come together. They're the ones in there in Tijuana that are flying the Joe Biden flags with these 1,500, 2,000 plus people that are trying to break into our country. They're the ones down there training them on what to say when they get here. And ultimately, they're the ones that are enriching the cartels and aiding and abetting the cartels. We actually, not just, and I don't know if you played any of that video, but not just, indirectly aiding and abetting, directly aiding and abetting. They actually go out into the desert in some of these places like Arivaca with groups like No More Deaths that are funded by counties like Pima County, Tucson. The city of Tucson funds these groups to go out and put food and water and provisions and blankets out for people that are trafficking drugs and trafficking humans into America. Now, they say they do it under the guise of, they call themselves, it's No More Deaths, right? And so they're a humanitarian organization. But what they're really doing is aiding and abetting the cartels in the invasion of America, in the trafficking of drugs into America, and of the trafficking of humans into America. This is going on all over the border. And it's those two things. It's the cartels in Mexico, and now in America. Many of those cartel leaders have actually moved into America, are building mansions down in places like Del Rio and Eagle Pass, Texas, and they're running their criminal organizations from America. And the leftist organizations and the politicians that are protecting them. It's not just a crisis; it's a disaster, and it's ultimately potentially the end of America if we don't get it under control.
Well, that's so everybody just wants to know, because they're sick of hearing it, right? I mean, not that they don't want to hear more about what's going on; they want the truth. But what the heck can we do? Like, we got these people, we got people like the Biden residency, and we got all of these leftists who are funding it. We can trace the money. We can follow the money. We can trace it. They're not only they're complicit, Ben. They're complicit in creating felonies. And what happens to all the people that come in that have, the tuberculosis and the COVID? What happens if they come in and kill people? Can we trace murder back to the Biden residency? I mean, this isn't like, oh, it's happening, we didn't know it was happening. This was initiated by Biden. This was invited by Biden, by his his policies and the people around him. So can we retroactively go back, if we even have a country then, and charge these people? Can state attorney generals get off their butt right now and start charging them, or are they too scared? Like, what are the kind of things because you live this world, right? So what do you think? What can we do?
Well, first off, we've seen what the left did by undermining the Constitution with their sanctuary policies, protecting illegal aliens. Every one of those politicians should have been prosecuted. Unfortunately, they tend to happen in Democrat-run states or with DAs that aren't willing to do it. If you're in a conservative state, you should absolutely, if you're in Texas or you're in Arizona, you should push for your state legislatures to start bringing state charges against these people.
Yes.
You should demand that the attorneys general start going after these people that are organizing. If these organizations are within your state, these organizations need to be prosecuted. The federal government's not going to do it right now.
No,
I mean, it's just not going to happen. But I think we can start pushing for that. Push for your sheriff, your county sheriff, to be a constitutional sheriff and to do everything within their constitutional ability to stop the invasion, so they can prevent people from coming into their counties. I mean, counties can do this. Cities can do this. They can say, we're not going to accept this. We're not going to allow you to overrun our community. So it really is starting at the local level. Everybody, first off, you have to get the information. That's why I go out there. It's, like you said,
right.
The mainstream media is not doing it. And if they are doing it, they're doing it. It's media malpractice. They're lying to you. They're lying to the people. In fact, many of them are attacking us for telling the truth, for showing the videos, and for exposing what's really going on.
I know.
And
you must be a racist. You must be systematically racist, right?
100%. I mean, we're anti-immigrant. Although I'm married to an immigrant, we're racist. Although the group, the three of us went down there. That was down there last. It was me, Will Johnson, and Anthony Aguero. And but they call us white supremacists for going down there. And the truth is, we are the most pro-immigrant people on the planet, because what we're doing is actually helping legal immigrants, people that want to do it the right way. If what the left is doing is actually hurting legal immigration, because every single person that comes across illegally impacts the courts, impacts our system, and really makes it